The human learns that the princess is no ordinary alien. She belongs to a powerful alien royal family, and some factions want her back at any cost. The market becomes tense as shadowy figures follow them. The audience sees glimpses of danger, blaster guns, hidden trackers, and strange alien creatures. The princess subtly tests the human, showing flashes of her strength, intelligence, and sharp wit. She wants to know if he is worthy of helping her survive. The human decides to protect her despite not fully understanding why she whispered those mysterious words. The princess reveals a secret: she holds the key to her planet's survival. If she falls into the wrong hands, her people will suffer. Just as they try to leave, the market is attacked by the royal hunters. The human and princess escape aboard a stolen spaceship, but the danger is far from over. The final shot leaves viewers on edge. The princess looks at him and says, "We're just getting started. If you survive, you'll understand." Welcome to my channel Starlight Sci-Fi Stories. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. The intergalactic market was alive with sound and color. Bright neon lights flickered across stalls, and alien creatures of every shape and size hustled through the narrow streets. Strange smells filled the air, sweet, sour, metallic, and the low hum of hovering vehicles added an electric tension. Humans rarely visited these markets, but today, one human walked among them with wide eyes and a mixture of curiosity and caution. He had come for exploration, for adventure, but nothing in his life had prepared him for what he would see at the central auction hall. The crowd pressed tightly around a raised platform, murmuring and shouting in languages he could barely understand. On the platform, a young alien sat, bound lightly, her small frame barely contained by the decorative restraints. Her hair shimmered like silver threads, and her eyes, large and violet, glimmered with intelligence and defiance. She did not look like the typical alien one might expect, delicate, almost fragile, but there was a tension in her posture, a sharpness in her gaze, that warned she was far more dangerous than she appeared. The human had never planned to bid on anything, but as he watched her, he felt a strange pull, an instinct he could not explain. Something about the way she studied the crowd, the way her eyes landed on him, made him step forward. His hand rose, almost on its own, and the bidding began. 20,000 credits, another bidder shouted. The human raised his hand higher, almost unconsciously. 30,000, he said. His voice sounded stronger than he expected. The room went silent for a moment. Some of the aliens turned to look at him with surprise. Humans were not common bidders here, and even rarer were those willing to purchase what the princess represented. 40,000, a tall, green-skinned alien cried. The human's hand rose again. 50,000, he said, feeling a strange certainty settle over him. The auctioneer's eyes widened. 50,000 credits, sold. A murmur swept through the crowd. The human had won. He had bought her. The young princess's violet eyes met his. She leaned slightly forward, her voice a whisper only he could hear. "You bought me, finish this." Her words were strange, cryptic, and heavy with meaning. The human froze. Finish what? Why him? The crowd dispersed slowly, murmuring among themselves. The human led her away, unsure of what he was supposed to do next. She walked with him but did not speak. The silence between them was tense, almost fragile, but it was filled with meaning. He could sense her studying him, testing him, and he felt an unfamiliar pressure to live up to whatever challenge she had set. As they moved through the alleys, he noticed shadows flickering behind crates and stalls. Figures with glowing eyes and silent steps followed them. He tried to alert her, but she only raised a hand. "Don't act yet," she whispered. "They are waiting for us to make a mistake." The human realized quickly that this was not just a simple auction. She was hunted. Powerful factions wanted her back. Perhaps some even wanted her dead. The market had been a trap, a way to see if anyone was brave, or foolish, enough to protect her. The spaceship they reached was small and unassuming, but it would do for their escape. As the human started the engines, the princess studied him closely. "You have courage," she said, almost as an observation. "But courage alone will not be enough. You must understand me if you want to survive this journey." I don't even know what I've agreed to," he admitted. She smiled faintly. "You agreed to more than you think. You agreed to save a life, maybe even a galaxy." The human glanced at her, trying to read her expression. There was a strange seriousness in her eyes, a weight that made him uncomfortable. He had saved lives before, but never like this. Never against the kind of danger he now sensed surrounding them. As the ship left the atmosphere of the bustling planet, alarms blared suddenly. Senses indicated multiple fast-approaching ships, cloaked in stealth technology. The human had no experience in combat, but instinct and the knowledge that the princess's life depended on him took over. She moved beside him, her movements precise and deliberate. "Don't panic. They are fast, but predictable. Trust me, and follow my lead." The human nodded, gripping the controls. He followed her instructions, dodging asteroid fields and weaving through debris. All the while, the princess's calm presence was reassuring yet intimidating. She was clearly trained to survive, and he was learning quickly that she could have defeated him easily if she wanted to. "You are different," she said finally. "Most humans would have frozen by now, or panicked. Not you. That is why I whispered, 'Finish this.' I needed someone who could think, who could act, who could protect me when it mattered most." He didn't fully understand, but the weight of her words sank into him. This was no ordinary auction purchase. He had unknowingly stepped into a dangerous game, one with consequences far beyond his imagination. After several tense minutes, they lost their pursuers in a dense asteroid belt. The human breathed a sigh of relief, leaning back in his seat. The princess remained alert, her eyes scanning the sensors. "Good," she said, "but don't relax yet. They will not give up easily." They traveled in silence for a while. The human wanted to ask her more, but he knew it was dangerous to speak too soon. Finally, curiosity got the better of him. Why did you say, 'Finish this'? What did you mean?" he asked. She studied him, then spoke slowly, carefully choosing her words. "I cannot explain fully, yet. But know this, my people, my family, they are in danger. If I fall, everything falls. And you were chosen to help. Whether you understand it or not, your actions will matter more than you know." The human felt a mix of fear and resolve. This was bigger than him, bigger than anything he had faced before. But something inside him stirred, a sense of purpose he had never felt. He would protect her, even if he didn't fully understand the stakes. As the night of space passed, the princess finally relaxed slightly, letting her guard down. "You are human," she said quietly. "Perhaps that is why you are different. You do not act out of obligation or fear. You act because you choose to. That will save you, and me." The human glanced at her, and for the first time, he saw vulnerability. Beneath her sharp intelligence and royal bearing, there was a girl who needed help, a life depending on him. He could not fail her, not now, not ever. Suddenly, an alert blared. Sensors indicated an incoming fleet, faster and larger than the previous pursuers. The princess's eyes narrowed. "They have found us again," she said. "Prepare yourself. This will be dangerous." The human gripped the controls tightly. He had no idea if he was ready, but he knew he had no choice. The ship shuddered as blasters fired past them, narrowly missing. The princess leaned over his shoulder, her hands steady as she gave tactical commands. Together, they navigated the chaos, dodging fire and debris. Finally, they managed to escape into a hidden warp lane, leaving the enemy fleet far behind. Both were exhausted, their hearts still racing. The princess looked at him then, her violet eyes softening. "You survived," she said. "And in surviving, you have begun to understand why I whispered those words. But this is only the beginning." The human looked at her, still confused, still scared, but something had shifted. He was no longer just a curious visitor in a strange galaxy. He was her protector, her ally, and perhaps, unknowingly, her companion in a story that would change both their lives forever. The final shot lingered on the two of them in the cockpit, the stars stretching endlessly ahead. The princess whispered again, almost to herself, "We are just getting started. If you survive, you will understand." The stars stretched endlessly around them, a silent sea of light, but the human and the young alien princess knew that silence was temporary. Danger had not disappeared, it had only been delayed. Every jump through space brought them closer to understanding each other, but also closer to enemies who would never stop hunting her. The spaceship hummed quietly as they navigated through a dense nebula. The princess, sitting beside the human, studied him with sharp eyes. "You are different," she said quietly. "I have seen humans before, but none like you. Most would panic, most would falter. Yet you think. You act." The human shifted uncomfortably, unsure how to respond. "I don't know if I'm ready for any of this," he admitted. "But I can't let them take you. Not after everything." She smiled faintly, her violet eyes softening. "It is not about me alone. If I fall, my people suffer. And if you fail, well, that is why you were chosen. You are not just protecting me. You are protecting a future. He had never imagined that a human could be part of a galaxy's fate. But her words resonated in him. He wasn't just a man thrown into danger. He was a choice, an ally, a partner, and perhaps even something more. The calm was brief. Alarms suddenly blared. The sensors detected multiple fast-moving ships closing in. The princess's posture stiffened. "They've found us," she said, her voice cold and urgent. "They will not give up. Prepare yourself. You will need every skill you have, and some you do not yet know you possess." The human gripped the controls tightly. He had survived before, but this felt different. The ships were faster, smarter, and coordinated. Blaster fire streaked past them, ricocheting off the hull. The human's heart raced, but he followed the princess's instructions, weaving, dodging, and countering attacks. "You are doing well," she said, leaning close to guide him. "Keep your focus. Trust me. Trust yourself." They dodged Throg an asteroid field, narrowly avoiding collisions. One ship struck their tail, sending the small vessel spinning. The human fought to stabilize it while the princess manually overrode the targeting systems to fire at their pursuers. Together, they made a perfect team, human courage guided by alien precision. Finally, after minutes that felt like hours, the enemy ships retreated. They were not defeated, only delayed. The human exhaled deeply, his hands trembling slightly. Is it always like this?" he asked, half laughing, half breathless. The princess shook her head. "No, but it will be. Danger is constant in this galaxy if you are worth hunting. And you are worth the challenge." Her words were strange but encouraging. He realized then that she was testing him not only for survival but for something deeper, trust. Days passed as they traveled through uncharted space. The human learned about the princess's life, how she had been trained to rule, to fight, to protect her people, but had never truly relied on anyone else. She had always been alone in her struggles, a prodigy and a prisoner at the same time. One evening, as the small spaceship drifted past a glowing gas giant, the princess sat quietly beside him, her head resting lightly on her hand. "I have never shared this," she said softly. "I was taught to survive alone, to expect betrayal at every turn. But with you, I am not afraid. That is strange." The human looked at her. "I'm not perfect. I don't always know what to do. But I will protect you, no matter what." She studied him, and for the first time, she allowed herself a small, genuine smile. "Then perhaps you are the first human I can trust completely. And that matters." The peaceful moment was shattered by a warning signal. A fleet of massive alien warships appeared, blocking their path. The princess's expression hardened. "They are here," she said. "And this time, we cannot run. We must fight, or die." The human swallowed, feeling fear claw at his chest. Yet beneath the fear, a strange courage surged. He was not a trained soldier, not an experienced warrior, but he had faced impossible odds before. And now, he would face them again, alongside the one he had chosen to protect. The battle began in full force. The small spaceship darted among the warships, dodging massive laser blasts and explosive projectiles. The human followed the princess's instructions perfectly, his movements precise and deliberate, even as the hull shook violently. The princess fought with a calm, terrifying skill. Her abilities, hinted at in small ways before, were now fully revealed. She could manipulate energy, deflect attacks, and strike with deadly accuracy. The human marveled at her power, knowing that without her, they would be destroyed instantly. At one critical moment, a missile locked onto the ship. The human froze. The princess saw the hesitation and, in a fluid motion, grabbed his hand, guiding him. "You can do this. Trust me. Fire the disruptor now." He followed her guidance, hitting the correct sequence. The missile exploded harmlessly away, and the two of them shared a brief glance, fear replaced by mutual respect and connection. After the battle, the remnants of the enemy fleet retreated. Both were exhausted, their bodies trembling from adrenaline. The human realized something profound. He had survived because of her guidance, but she had survived because of his courage. Together, they were unstoppable. The princess looked at him, her violet eyes soft. "You are different from anyone I have ever met," she said. "You do not fight because you are told to. You fight because you choose to. And that choice, it has earned my trust." The human blushed, feeling an unfamiliar warmth spread through him. I didn't know what I was choosing at first," he admitted. But now, I know, I choose to protect you. Always. Her smile widened slightly. Then perhaps, this is the beginning of something new. Not just survival, but trust. Friendship. Perhaps more. Weeks passed as they traveled together, hiding from enemies and learning to trust one another fully. Small moments of connection, shared meals, repairing the ship together, quiet nights watching alien suns rise, built a bond stronger than any weapon. One evening, as they sat under a sky filled with glittering stars, the princess spoke. You know, on my planet, a bond like this is rare. Trust is earned slowly, love, even slower, yet here, with you, I feel it forming. Strange, isn't it? The human reached for her hand, holding it gently. I've never felt anything like this, he said softly. But I want to be with you, no matter the danger. Her eyes glimmered with tears, though she did not move them down her face. Then perhaps, this is our choice, just as you said. To be together, not because of duty, not because of obligation, but because we choose each other. The final test came when they were cornered once more, trapped on a remote planet by the princess's enemies. They had no ship, no allies, only each other. The battle was intense, explosions, blaster fire, and desperate maneuvers through rocky terrain. Yet once again, the human's courage and the princess's skill complemented each other perfectly. When the last enemy fell, they collapsed together, breathing heavily, hearts pounding. The princess looked at him, her expression soft and honest. You bought me, she said quietly, echoing the words from long ago. And now, you have finished it. The human frowned slightly, puzzled. Finished what? Her smile was radiant. Her eyes warm. Finished the trial, the danger, the test of courage and trust. And in surviving it, you have earned more than my respect, you have earned my heart. Without another word, she leaned forward and kissed him. It was a kiss full of relief, trust, and unspoken promises. In that moment, they were no longer just human and alien princess, they were partners, equals, and something far stronger than either had imagined. A week later, under the glow of alien moons, they were married. It was a quiet ceremony, intimate and full of meaning. No grand hall, no elaborate guests, just the two of them, united by trust, courage, and choice. The human had learned that bravery could come from unexpected places, that humanity could shine in a galaxy of danger. And the princess had learned that trust and love were worth taking a risk for, even when the odds seemed impossible. As they stood together, watching the stars stretch endlessly ahead, the princess whispered softly, "We have survived, we have fought, and we have chosen each other. Together, we are unstoppable." The human squeezed her hand. Together, he agreed, and for the first time in both their lives, the future felt infinite, full of possibilities, and completely theirs.